So, ayan po, good evening to everyone. So, we are the discussants for Chapter 14, Comparison of Cognitive and Metacognitive Factors in Learning. So, the learning points for this topic is concepts and perspective about cognition and metacognition. So, these are the characteristics of successful learners. Can create meaningful, coherent representations of knowledge with support and guidance. So, teachers have to guide learners in terms of determining their personal goals. They need to set their goals not dictated by others to ensure their willingness to achieve them. Meaningful learning takes place when what is presented to learners is very much related to their needs and interests. Next, can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Ito naman po yung kaya ng learner na i-connect yung bagong information sa kasalukuyang kaalaman nila. Mas nagagawa nilang palawakin o palalimin yung isang knowledge or information. Next, learners can create a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. Ito naman po yung gumagamit sila ng strategy or mayroon silang strategy sa learning, reasoning, or problem solving para mas madali nilang maintindihan o magawa yung isang bagay. So, next slide. Next is cognition. Refers to all the mental process and abilities in which people use or engage on a daily basis. So basically, cognition is the process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through experience, thought, and the senses. So the example of cognition is thinking, knowing, remembering, judging, and problem solving. So next slide, metacognitive is defined as thinking about thinking. It allows an individual to complete a task through planning, monitoring, evaluating, and comprehending. So it is one's ability to use prior knowledge to plan a strategy for approaching a learning task or steps to solve a problem, so it helps the learners to choose the right cognitive tool for the task and plays a critical role in successful learning. So next slide, the knowledge people have about their own cognitive process is referred to as metacognitive knowledge. So metacognitive knowledge, it means ito yung kaalaman natin sa sariling proseso ng pag-iisip natin. It refers to what learners know about learning. And then next is the use of cognitive process to facilitate learning and memory is referred to as metacognitive regulation. So metacognitive regulation is how we control our thinking or facilitate our learning. For example po, students with effective metacognitive regulation skills can select appropriate learning strategies for a task and modify their approaches based on outcome. So next slide, Weinstein and Mayer cognitive learning strategy is a plan for orchestrating cognitive resources such as attention and long-term memory to help teach and achieve a learning goal. So according to them, cognitive learning strategy is a way of planning to arrange easily their resources to help teach and achieve a learning goal. So sa pamamagitan ng kanilang planning strategies is mapapadali po yung mga pag-catch up ng mga bata. So that's all. Next na po na reporter.
Good day, I'm Abigail Rivera and my topic is about knowledge. So we have 4 types of knowledge. which are declarative knowledge, procedural knowledge, self-regulation, and metacognition. But first, we're gonna tackle what is knowledge. So, based on my research, knowledge is a fact of information and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. Means, yung knowledge daw is yung mga nag-gather niyang facts or information or data skills na pwede niyang nakuha through life experiences or pwede rin daw sa eskwelahan. So, declarative knowledge is an information acquired that one can speak about daw. It is also an information acquired from the speaker. Declarative knowledge is what we know. It is also an information that one can declare. From Zimmerman 2014, ang declarative knowledge daw is a facts and events that can be explicitly stored and consciously recalled or declared. Ang example natin ng declarative knowledge is yung the capital of the country. Capital of the country is a declarative piece of information. Why? Because the capital of the country is a information that is fact or a factual information or relating to facts that can be explicitly or definitely stored. Another example natin is world history or rules for mathematical equations are all examples of a declarative knowledge. So, to be short, declarative knowledge refers to facts or information stored in the memory that is considered static or non-moving in nature. Declarative knowledge also refers to as conceptual or ideal, propositional or suggestion or descriptive knowledge. It describes things, events, or processes which is their attributes and their relation to each other. So, let's move to our second one, which is the procedural knowledge. So, what is procedural knowledge? So, procedural knowledge, as opposed or opposite to declarative knowledge, it refers to what one can do and what one is able to do. This is knowledge that a person knows to do by doing it better than explaining. Procedural knowledge refers to the knowledge of how to perform a specific skill or task and is considered knowledge related to methods, procedures, or operation of equipment. Procedural knowledge is also referred to as implicit knowledge or know-how. Means, siya yung more on execution of the action on knowing how to do a thing or a task. Example nito is yung knowing how to ride a bike. The procedural knowledge, gagawin mo siya, magtitake ka na action to actually know how to ride a bike. Means, kumbaga, you're learning how to ride the bike by actually riding it. Ayan, that's simply. Another example is singing correctly Bahay Kubo. Meaning, one can recall or natatandaan niya yung mga pagkakasunod-sunod ng gulay na usually nag-grow sa farm. Let's move to our third one, which is the self-regulation knowledge. So, based on the information that is flashed on the screen, self-regulation of learning involves more than detailed knowledge of a skill. It involves the self-awareness, self-motivation, and behavioral skill to implement that knowledge appropriately. Self-regulation is not a mental ability or an academic performance skill. Rather, it is the self-directive process by which learners transform their mental abilities into academic skill, by Barry Zimmerman. So, in self-regulation, learners have to believe they can learn whatever the task before them and they need to be motivated. Ang verbs natin dito are purposeful, process, forethought, or thinking, or yung nagpa-plan ka na in advance. Monitoring and reflection. For learners naman, Learners must be goal setting, planning, self-motivation, attention control, flexible use of strategies, self-monitoring, help-seeking, and self-evaluation. For teaching self-regulation naman, we need a direct instruction and modeling, guided practice, independent practice, developmental level. Self-regulated learners are more engaged, volunteer answers, perform better on tests, and more confident. So our last one is a metacognition. Metacognition is a knowledge and awareness of one's learning and thinking. The metacognition is a ability to plan, monitor, assess, and regulate one's own learning and thinking. It is used to make decisions that maximize learning outcomes and help students meet their goals. Metacognition is thinking not just about the what of learning, but the how. Planning, monitoring, and evaluating. So, planning. Plan is your approach to learning a topic, specifically how you will digest the information. In monitoring your comprehension of the topic as you study with actions such as practice test. In evaluating the results of your learning when you are finished and modify your approach as needed. So, to be short, metacognitive knowledge refers to what learners know about learning. This includes the learner's knowledge of their own cognitive abilities. So that's all. Thank you very much.